This week in U.S. immigration news, we are going to cover State Department plans pilot for domestic visa renewal, new immigration legislation introduced Child Status Protection Act, groups ask feds to redesignate TPS for Nicaragua, Mayorkas talks immigration with Latino Senate Democrats, reminders for filing Form I-485. The State Department is going to launch a pilot program which will offer visa renewal options in the U.S. for H-1B specialty occupation workers and other temporary visa holders who are currently required to travel abroad. The program is expected to launch later this year and would allow H-1B workers to renew their visas without leaving the United States and would reduce the workload of consular offices abroad. This stateside renewal option will be available to H&L visa holders and may be expanded in the future. Immigration lawyers and business groups have urged the State Department to add the domestic renewal option to address visa bottlenecks abroad. Since Lindsey O. Graham and Richard J. Durbin introduced new immigration legislation which would provide a pathway of legal residency for those known as Dreamers. The DREAM Act would allow people who were brought to the U.S. as children under the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program to earn citizenship. Dreamers are protected from deportation by DACA and can work legally in the country. The future of DACA is uncertain, with a current court case in Texas challenging the legality of the program which could result in the end of DACA. The DREAM Act would help young people who are facing uncertain futures finally have a pathway to legal residency. USCIS has issued guidance in the USCIS Policy Manual to update when an immigrant visa number becomes available for the purpose of calculating a non-citizen's age in certain situations under the Child Status Protection Act. For a child to obtain lawful permanent resident status in the U.S. based on their parents' approved petition for a family-sponsored or employment-based visa, the child generally must be under the age of 21. If the child turns 21 and ages out during the immigration process, the child is normally no longer eligible to immigrate with the parent based on the parent's petition. Hundreds of organizations are asking the Biden administration for redesignation of temporary protected status for Nicaragua. There were a total of 272 religious, immigration, and human rights organizations which band together to request the resignation in a letter sent to President Joe Biden on Friday. The letter also requested the administration give recipients a 6-month registration period and to post the federal registration notice without delays if redesignation is announced. The Florida Immigration and the American Friends Service Committee led the request and emphasized the political, social and human rights crises in Nicaragua requiring the need for redesignation. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas discussed immigration policy earlier this week with the Senate's 4 Latino Democrats. The group included Foreign Relations Committee Chairman Bob Menendez of New Jersey, Senator Alex Padilla of California, who chairs the Judiciary Committee's immigration panel, and Sens Catherine Cortez Masto of Nevada and Ben Ray Lujan of New Mexico. The senators explained their concerns regarding Title 42 as well as the recently announced policy proposal which would limit asylum eligibility for migrants who passed through another country traveling to the southern border. Padilla said the meeting was productive and that immigration was the focus. When filing Form I-485, application to register permanent residence or adjust status, all required initial evidence and supporting documentation listed under the USCIS checklist of required initial evidence can be filed at the same time. Submitting all required initial evidence and supporting documentation at the same time as Form I-485 is submitted may eliminate the need for USCIS to issue a request for evidence to obtain additional evidence and documentation. It may also help avoid adjudication delays if USCIS decides you do not need to be interviewed. It will also save time by submitting Form I-693, Report of Medical Examination and Vaccination Record, when you file Form I-485.
Friends, show us some love and smash the like button. It doesn't cost you anything. If you have an immigration problem or need a second opinion because you cannot get a hold of your own lawyer, schedule a meeting with our team. Share information with our CARES team and they will help you get scheduled with our legal team. Now here's a secret code to unlock the free 15 minutes.